Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It's good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. I'm Emily Smith. I'm the president of your board here at UUCC, and I am here to welcome you to our church where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new to us, please fill out a welcome card and drop it in the offering basket so we can share information with you about our activities and help you find what nourishes your spirit. There are note cards in your pew for writing your joys and sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass a square basket during the offering to gather those up. So you can write your name or remain anonymous. You can also write "do not share" on the card if there's something that you want held in care by our minister and our pastoral care team, but that you don't want spoken aloud in today's service. We have a lot of activities and events happening each week in our community, and here are a couple things that we have going on. Today is our first Sunday potluck. Hopefully you remembered to bring something, but if you didn't, that is just fine. We want you more than anything. Please join us after the service for tasty food and amazing fellowship. Goodness knows we all need a way to decompress right now with what is going on in the world. Join us for one of the many meditations that we have here at church. Coming up this week, we have Mindful Meditation Monday. That's tomorrow. Bird and bell meditation in the Zen Soto tradition, Lectio Divina, yoga for everybody, and a kirtan song circle. Go ahead and contact Jed or go see Jed after the service for more information about any of these meditation groups that already exist or one you might be interested in hosting yourself. And then third, my special announcement about our service auction. I don't know if we have anybody new to us in here, but I did want to give a little explanation. The way that our church operates and the way that we can pay our staff and our minister and keep our lights on is, of course, pledges, but also fundraising. And so our biggest fundraiser of the year is our service auction. It is going to take place on March 7th, which is a Saturday from 5 to 8. So the tickets to that are $15 for people who are 12 and over. Children are free, and we will also have free childcare and free food for the kids. The $15 ticket does get you a carved ham dinner. We're going to have carved ham and sides and desserts and wine and beer for a donation. And so it's a super fun evening. And what we are also looking for from you is donations. So one of the things that the service auction is really built around is services. That's why it's called a service auction, right? So some of the ideas for that are, we have folks who host a dinner at their house. There's a very popular ice cream social that people sign up for a lot. One of my favorite things is Yule log making, which I guess could be considered a craft, but also just a fun time to get with people and make something that you love. So there's a lot of different things. I actually bought last year a knitting lesson at the service auction, which I really, really enjoyed. So if you have anything like that that you want to offer, there are forms to fill out on the little table in the lobby right there. And you can fill out the form and put it back in the basket, and we'll get it up on our auction website. So if you have anything you'd like to run by me, if you think, is this idea stupid? It probably is not. And come and talk to me, and we can help refine it and work it out together. We're also looking for other things of value. If you think that, a basket or an actual item would be better, but please don't donate anything to us. That would be better for our garage sale. So if you want to talk about any of that, let me know. Marcy Lindy is our fundraising chair. You can also talk to Marcy. And we also have an email that you can email to us, and it should be on the papers that are out there. Oh, I see Brigitte is raising her hand. Yes, Brigitte.
I spray my hair, I hair plant that have come because of all of this, and I'm doing that. It's for the auction. And they're like jellyfish. They're in a little, they look like jellyfish. And I got pictures.
They're really cool. I've seen the picture. It was also a text of, do you think this is stupid? And I was like, absolutely not. Air plant, fascism resisting, Antifa airplanes, I'm here for it. So that's what we're calling this item anyway. So please come, please bring your friends, please tell everyone about the service auction, and also please donate. So I'm going to introduce Karen, who's going to come talk about our Share the Plate partner for February, who is Wyoming Equality. Thanks, Karen.
Okay, we gather in person. We gather in person and on Zoom each week, giving from our resources to sustain the work of this church and share our abundance with community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in your order of service, or use your Realm app for electronic giving, or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the baskets in a few moments as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for February is Wyoming Equality. Wyoming Equality strives to achieve equity for all lesbians, gay, bisexual, transgender, two-spirit, and queer Wyomingites by building broad and inclusive communities, shifting the hearts and minds of our neighbors, and achieving policy victories. Their vision, a Wyoming where the dignity and humanity of all LGBT Wyomingites are celebrated and protected in the communities we call home. And the story of the Wyoming Equality began in 1987 when a group of LGBTQ Wyomingites in Cheyenne and Laramie planned an annual camping trip called Rendezvous. They sought to create a space where they could be authentic, welcomed, and enjoy the outdoors in their home state. A year later, this group changed their names from G&L Group to the United Gays and Lesbians of Wyoming, UGLW. They found an eager community ready to advocate for LGBTQ equality and began distributing quarterly newsletters called United Voice. This tradition lives on with the relaunch of the United Voice magazine. In honoring the work of past advocates and a shared love of Wyoming's vast blue sky and public lands, Wyoming Equality has continued to host Rendezvous. They're proud to provide a treasured tradition and the largest LGBTQ camping event in the Rocky Mountain region, with 500 plus attendees every year. Wyoming Equality has a proud history in our state. Thank you for the donations that will go to continue their work.
And so it is with deep gratitude that we receive this morning offering. These gifts of generosity go to the work of this congregation and out into the wider world, broadening the reach of our values. We thank you for your offering. Stephen Schick writes, "From the loneliness of troubled times, we come to discover that we are not alone. Into the dwelling place of togetherness, we come to collect remnants of hope. From fear that all is lost, we come to discover what will save us. Into the comfort of each other's arms, we come to feel the strength that has not yet vanished. From darkness, we come to wait until our eyes begin to see. And into the refuge of fading dreams, we come to remove illusions and focus on new visions. From despair that walks alone, we come to travel together into the dwelling place of generations. We come to pledge allegiance to being peace and to doing justice as we join together, as we come in worship once more. For our opening hymn, I invite you to turn in your gray hymnals, rising in body or in spirit, to join us in singing hymn number 95, "There is More Love Somewhere." If you would like to assist in the leadership of our hymns, please feel welcome to join us on the chancel.
There is more love somewhere. There's more love. There's more love. There is more peace somewhere.
Let's sing it out.
There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere.
there is more joy somewhere.
So our chalice lighting leading today is Imbolc Blessing by Melanie Close in honor that today is Imbolc. It's the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It was celebrated in pagan cultures with fire festival and honoring of white flowers, perhaps snowdrops that may have bloomed, and a number of other things honoring fertility, the fact that the lambs were starting to show in their pregnant mama's bellies. So that is what time of year it is now that we're honoring. From winter's dark, the light is born. Hope awakens with the morn. Seeds of promise deep and sure. Rest now stir alive once more. By flame and breath, by spark and snow, we claim new paths for which we grow. What lay dormant now takes form. We step renewed, reborn, transformed. Light return and bless our way. At Imbolc's dawn, we start today.
William Safford writes, "There is a thread you follow. It goes among the things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die. You suffer or get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. Here, we come together to join our threads, our values, our morals, what guides us through life with one another in this interdependent web of all existence. Here, we entwine our threads. We find our joys and sorrows, our challenges and celebrations, intersecting with one another, creating a joined, communal life with our meaning and purpose, gathered with others into a fine tapestry. And so today, let us twine our threads around one another for a time and be together in prayer, in the wonder and mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. And so, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, gathered beings and creation, let us offer our kind thoughts, our hopeful prayers for Julianne, who is facing surgery and recovery in these coming days. Let us offer our thanks and our celebration alongside Lauren Danley, who says the spot on her liver was not cancerous. A true joy and relief to know. Let us also hold in prayer all those in our community whose mental and emotional health are having a little bit of a hard time right now. And let our prayers reach out yet further from this place. Let us hold this community and the threads connected in our love and care. Those we know, those we love, who are affected by ICE roundups, by deportations, by threats to their safety or their children. Let us hold this wider world, the state of Wyoming, our legislative session coming up, the courage and purpose for all who go to make their voices heard, to make their values known amongst those who have been chosen to represent us in this time. Whether or not they are successful, the lifting up of community voices, of our concerns, is truly an effort in courage and perseverance. May you know that your voice matters. So let us light candles. Let us light a candle for all those individuals for whom we pray. Let us light a candle for our community, those we touch, those we know, and those within their circles as it widens outward, spiraling ever. And let us light one more candle for this world, for all beings, for the earth itself, upon which we live and laugh and pray and cry, for all that is and all that is made possible by our mere existence. Let us hold up our prayers and praise as well. And for all those unspoken hopes, all those good news that are too new or not yet known, all those hardships, sorrows, angers that we don't feel ready to share aloud. May they too be included in our prayers. Amen, and blessed be.
Now, if the young or young at heart would like to come join us up here on the chancel for the sharing of our covenant and the message for all ages afterwards, please come on up.
Thank you, my young and young at heart. I have always appreciate the presence of people of so many ages and ways of being, as we are reminded by our covenant that love is the spirit of this church and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to love others. And today, I'm doing a little gear shift because I thought to read a book to you all, but I think you all probably know all the things that that book was going to tell you. That sometimes bad things happen, that sometimes it is hard to dwell in peace with one another, that sometimes there is injustice in the world. Sometimes, instead of being the force that makes us feel helped and good and safe, the police, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, or other representatives of government bodies can be the folks that are making us feel scared. Is anyone really surprised by this information? Do I need to stop on any of these points? Yeah. So when we know all of this, it can be easy to want to hide out, to stay home where things feel safe, to stay on your own because you wonder about other people, because you wonder in that scared kind of way. The really important point that this book makes is that in these moments, there aren't actually a lot of people who don't know what's going on, children included. And what people, young and old, need to know in moments of fear and uncertainty is that they have someone safe to talk to. That might be parents, that might be teachers, that might be a minister, that might be another person in your congregation or at work, or a friend that you go for coffee with. What are some people that you all know that you could talk to if you were feeling worried about the world?
I talk to my mom pretty regularly about things. We tend to be
Yeah.
quite on the same page on a lot of things. So even if it's just preaching to the choir, it's still nice to know that someone can advocate for my reality being sort of there.
Yeah, talking to your mom, knowing that that's a safe place where you're going to get feedback that affirms that you're not having an outsized or an unreasonable reaction. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, a friend, a special one.
Sometimes I'll talk to my grandma. She has since passed, but being able to remember her memory and stuff like that. is great.
Yeah, talking to your grandma, even though she's passed on, and just knowing that her spirit is there to hear and to care. Is there anyone? Well, I don't know that you need to raise your hand about it, but I'm just wondering, are there any people feeling like there are a lot of places where you're not sure if you can go to talk about what's going on in the world? See a lot of heads nodding. Yeah. One of the hardest things right now is that a lot of what's going on seems to be sort of normal. We still go to work. We still have to get kids to school and pick them up. We still have to go grocery shopping and cook dinner. And there's just enough that feels really normal. That it can feel like if you start talking about all the things that aren't normal, you're the one being disruptive. Has anybody had that kind of feeling? Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons that we come to places like this. Our congregation is a place where we explicitly hope that you are having conversations about real things. What's hard? How are you feeling? No, really, how are you feeling? What's lifting your spirit? What's weighing down your spirit? I'm going to invite you very explicitly today to find one or two people in coffee hour, maybe someone you haven't had that kind of conversation with, and ask them and truly listen to one another. What's weighing down your spirit? How is it with your soul? Do we feel like we can do that? Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Amplified too. Suppose.
Our sacred message for today is entitled Gate A4 by Naomi Shianai. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal, after learning my flight had been delayed 4 hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. But Gate A4 was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor wailing. "Help," said the flight agent. "Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be late and she did this." I stopped to put my arm around the woman and spoke haltingly. "Shu dawa, shu bid'uk, habiti? Stani shwe min fadlik, shu bit sewi?" The minute she heard any word she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for major medical treatment the next day. I said, "No, we're fine. You'll get there, just later." "Who is picking you up? Let's call him." We called her son. I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and ride next to her. She talked to him. Then we called her other sons, just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, they had 10 shared friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade mamoul cookies, little powdered sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts, which is amazement, from her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the mom from California, the lovely woman from Laredo. We were all covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. And then the airline broke out free apple juice from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and they were covered with powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag. Some medicinal thing with green, furry leaves. Such an old country tradition. Always carry a plant. Always stay rooted to somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in. The shared world. Not a single person in that gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all those other women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. Thank you, Lloyd. Our core reading for today is Breathe by Lynn Ungar. Breathe, said the wind. How can I breathe at a time like this, when the air is full of smoke, of burning fires, burning lives? Just breathe, the wind insisted. Easy for you to say, if the weight of injustice is not wrapped around your throat, cutting off the air. I need you to breathe. I need you to breathe. Don't tell me to be calm when there are so many reasons to be angry, so much cause for despair. I didn't say to be calm, said the wind. I said to breathe. We're going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane together.
I need you to breathe. When we choose to sing together, it is not simply to create a beautiful noise. It is so that we can breathe together. When we breathe in and out, timing ourselves in rhythm with one another, we learn lessons for our lives. We regulate our nervous systems, learn how to get through what is hard. We learn how to be part of community, physically, breathing in and breathing out. We learn like a choir that not everyone has to sustain every note, that there are places to come in and places to pause for each person who may need to do differently. we learn to breathe in and out. And so it is that we take a moment now and then to breathe together, to take our teal hymnals, to sing together. Number 1009, our meditation on breathing. I'll sing through each part. If you find one that you love, stay on it. Continue it a few times. You can remain seated or stand if it helps you to breathe. Our melody goes like this. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Again, when I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Stay on that if you like it. In, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out. And if you'd like, you can sing the low drone. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you like desk hands, come in on this next time. Breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Choose your favorite. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Last time. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Thank you for breathing together. Two weeks ago, so many were called. We went to Minneapolis answering that call of peace and justice, answering a call from our friends, a call from colleagues, a call from the voice of our faith. We went out to answer the call, not knowing exactly what that should or could mean, but knowing that when someone tells you they are in danger, you simply must help. You must go to their aid. You must answer the call when your conscience tells you that what is happening is not right, when there is a break in the normal, when we see through the cracks in the system that there is a terror beneath, a fire, a flame beneath that surface that is trying to eat all that is life-giving and human among us, turning lives into fuel for greed. We went to answer the call of life, the call of liberation, to bear that breath of life, that breath that makes hurricanes, that breath that takes the negative 20-degree cold of Minneapolis in a cold snap and a storm and turns it into songs of inspiration and liberation, into poetry, into lines of love laid out in the streets, in chants and conversations. We asked one another who and what called you, and we listened to each other's answers. We listened to the poets. Junauda Petrus, the poet laureate of Minneapolis, spoke to us, that beautiful writer who reminded the world of why Minneapolis is a city that is so special, that loves and cares for one another. She wrote after the murder of George Floyd, asking how do you make them understand that on a frozen, cold night, that even the wind gets into your heated home and can find you under the comforter in your pajamas, and in this warm cocoon, you think to yourself, does everyone have a warm bed? Does everyone have enough to eat? Does everyone have a place to be safe? Who is getting snatched in the night? But she told us of this land of immigrants, Vietnamese, Karen, Hmong, Somali, so many, from so many places, the Norwegians and Swedes who came first, the Germans who added to the mix, all those from so many places, now Venezuelans and Somalis coming to find a home that is safe, even if it's cold. Junauda Petrus finished that poem saying they wouldn't understand that it isn't cold here all the time. Deep, deep, deep down inside, that something here is quite warm. We found out what that was so quickly, those who showed up bringing the care and prayers of our communities with us. What's warm are the people, the care, the love for one another, and the care we brought, like spiritual hand warmers to keep us from feeling the sharpness of that cold. Yes, we could begin to understand as we sang together in the Presbyterian Church with over 600 clergy gathered, so many answering the call from everywhere in this nation that they had to turn people away and fill a second church to bursting with those who wanted to be trained, those who wanted to know what they could do both in Minneapolis and for their own communities back home. Those who knew that they must have courage in this moment. We affirmed together when we sang, I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. And we're going to learn this song together. We're going to sing it today together, because we are a congregation that affirms, that covenants, that we will dwell together in peace. And we know that where there is no justice, there can be no peace. And so we sing, I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. And I hope you do, because those of us who showed up, we showed up from places near and far. We showed up Jewish and Christian and Unitarian Universalist and Muslim and so many more. So many people of faith gathering. So many people of no faith who gathered not in that first church, but who were gathering all over the city at the same time, singing their own songs of liberation and justice, joining their voices together in caring for their neighbors. They brought hope from place to place. They joined, like we join today, knowing that it is not just these people in this room, but that across our nation, the people in the Central Time Zone at their 11 o'clock services, the people here, up and down the Rocky Mountains, the people already at the early service out in the Pacific West, are all singing together. I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. We learned together. We learned how to go out onto the icy cold streets. We learned that you should really pack hand warmers, not just for your hands, but up in the pits of your armpits as you walk to keep that blood flowing, down in your pockets of your pants to make sure that your legs don't freeze right through. And then we went out. We saw all along the streets near the Somali Mall how empty everything was, how the roads have filled instead with abrupt terror. A good friend of mine, the Reverend James Galinsky, watched ICE attempt to snatch a woman from her car. This young pregnant woman, suddenly with 12 ICE agents turning up on all sides of her car, demanding that she show documents to prove her citizenship. Thank goodness she had enough papers and they had enough reason to say, all right, and let her go. But in those 90 seconds of terror, we were reminded that it's all just luck. Right now on those streets, people expect that if they are out looking a little brown, that it's simply not safe. ICE agents foment that terror, leaving cars with the windows smashed or the doors left open, the engine running. Just sitting, idling in the middle of your street to remind you that there was a neighbor only a few minutes ago who is no longer in your neighborhood. And yet, through it all, people continued to protest, to hold vigils, to keep their neighbors safe by coming out into the streets, responding to whistles and shouts and singing. I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. Not because they aren't afraid, truly. Deep down, there's a pit of fear in everyone's stomach. And yet, there is courage because we are together. because we remind one another of our purpose, of our dreams for a more just and peaceful world, because the neighbors who come out know that it won't be just them, that they will be surrounded in a cloud of witnesses responding to those whistles, to those shouts, that they will be part of something better, which is being together. That affirmation of courage that you know now begins to sing in your heart and your bones, even if deep down there's still a tickle of fear. We know that we are living for liberation. We know as they chant in the streets, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Over and over, we chant, no justice, no peace. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. People are learning in Minneapolis. People are learning across this world that strong communities keep us safe, keep us well, our hearts, our souls, our spirits encouraged. And so Minneapolis continues with patience and perseverance to continue the fight, to answer the calls to boycott and go on strike again and again. And it's not just those able-bodied few who can go for a march in the negative temperatures. It's also the people who can show up with a hot meal, the people who can drop your kids off at school or provide childcare when you are in the streets. It's the people with a sympathetic ear and who ask, how is it with your spirit? How is your soul in these times? What do you need? We knew going into this that we weren't going to end the existence of ICE in just a few days. We knew there was a large chance that there would be retaliation or a shuffling of leadership that didn't actually end the violence, just made people feel like something was happening. But the showing up still mattered. At the airport, as we protested against Delta's complicity with ICE, Reverend Oscar Sinclair knelt down on the snow to get arrested with colleagues and friends. He told me, after being released a couple days later, that he'd seen this stole online with all of your prayers attached. That when he got scared, it was the first time he'd ever risked arrest. He says, I'm a rule-following kind of guy. This isn't really my thing. But when he'd been afraid in those moments, he saw me on the other side of the barricade, singing, being a presence. And he knew that all of you, too, were present. That there was a great cloud of witnesses awaiting him and holding him in love. And spoke to him, sang to him. I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. And isn't that just us, Unitarian Universalists? Here we hold all of that love, that courage, that faith, because we hold to our promises to one another. We repeat our covenant each week to remind us that if we wish to dwell in peace together, then we must work for it. We must work for justice. We must be together courageously. We must uphold love and speak the truth of what is happening in our world, what is happening here. What's happening in Minneapolis is not people sitting back, letting some representative body or just the clergy do their thing. We were a little glaze of icing on top. We were a little bit of extra boost. 600 clergy, yes, but as part of 30,000 people marching, that's half the population of this entire city of Cheyenne out on the streets in one march. And that doesn't even include any of the people who were in other cities all across Minnesota, any of the other people who were doing childcare for those who had gone out into the streets, who were driving them to and from the center of the city, dropping off people and picking them up and keeping them safe on the way and the way back. There were so many people holding it down together. And this is what it means to dwell together in peace. It is not inaction. It is not just sitting around. It is not making someone else your leader to go forth on your behalf. It is knowing that we, this whole gathered congregation, are an organism together. No matter what minister you have today, tomorrow, or in 6 months, knowing that you are the power that makes this whole thing go. And Minneapolis is rising up, but so are we. That we are making a difference in this world every moment that we commit to be with one another and to live out our values. To dwell together in peace is to live with courage, to know that like this stole, you are surrounded every moment. The hopes, the prayers, the faith of every person in this room and beyond. That you are the church, that the practice of living here together is the blueprint for the beloved community. That by living together, by sharing cookies in the midst of delays, by singing with our whole hearts and our voices, by simply breathing together, we are building what is love, what is faith, what is courage and liberation. Singing, I am not afraid. Oh, I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. We affirm this every time we are together in faith. We, the beloved community, this congregation, Unitarian Universalists, living our love. May it be so. Take a moment and rise in body, rise in spirit. Join us in singing number 1017 in your teal hymnal. We're building a new way. We're going to build a new way. We're going to work to be free. And then we're going to come back to building that new way. Verse 1, verse 2, verse 1 again. And then we'll head on out. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, we're feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. Are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. London and galaxy. We are working to be free. These are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Peace on earth. We are building a new way.
Thank you all. And now please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak the words that you can find in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again.
And so, on this day, as we build the future we hope for, long for, together, may we recommit to a justice born of love. May we hold on to one another. May we go out in this world to dwell together in that positive peace that comes from our understanding of one another's heart.